Okay, hi everyone. Thank y'all for joining us for our Beef Brunch news update on Tuesday, June 10th. You're stuck with just Trip and I think, for today, and you don't get to see our wonderful faces because internet is being difficult, both at the Union Parish office and at the Hill Farm. So Lee might jump on at some point, but both Brittany and Vince are on the road out of the office working on things. So they're not going to be joining us. But I'm going to go ahead and let Trip kick it off for us.
All right, thank you very much, Ashley, and thank you for having us. First off, I want to go ahead and congratulate our LSU Fighting Tigers for being victorious in the Super Regional and punching their ticket to Omaha. This is going to be their 20th trip to the College World Series, and that's a pretty impressive feat right there. So congratulations to those guys. Moving on to the ag front. Guys, not a whole lot is terribly different than what we reported on last week. There's still been some issues with getting hay cut, raked, and baled in the field without getting it rained on. We were fortunate at the tail end of last week to have some favorable weather across northeast Louisiana, and a very significant amount of hay got picked up. A lot of our producers were able to fully complete their first round at the end of last week. And a matter of fact, we had a few guys that were able to take an early cutting of haylage that wrapped up their second round because they were able to get on that grass so much earlier because they were wrapping it in the first go round. That kind of highlights one of the advantages of investing in wrapping equipment. If you're able to get in there earlier, not having to fully dry that grass down, if you can jump in there in late April and steal a cutting, your first round of hay is going to come in a lot cleaner because you're essentially getting your cleanup cutting done with your haylage, and then you can be cutting clean hay this time of year. A lot of our guys were essentially doing a cleanup cut in this round, so quality was not there. Yield was pretty good from everything I saw, but quality just was not there. There was a lot of rank winter grasses, a lot of rank ryegrass in there that we just had to get out of the way. That way we can really get our Bermuda kicking and have a good clean second cutting. This is pretty run of the mill, pretty stereotypical for first round hay in Northeast Louisiana. While we did get a lot of hay picked up at the tail end of last week, um, we did get a good bit of hay rained on. We got some rain Saturday in this part of the world in Union Parish, Lincoln Parish. So I know several producers had some hay got rained on, so that diminishes the quality of it right there, on top of it not being just primo hay to start with. But a few drying days, we'll be able to get that grass right there picked up, and those guys will be in good shape coming into the second cutting. Unpredictable rain chances over the next few days have got people fairly gun shy to fire up the cutters and get out there and make an attempt at it. We'd like to see a little bit more confidence in the forecast before we laid a whole lot of grass on the ground. But one thing we do feel pretty good about is a few days of moderated temperatures. So that leaves a pretty good gap in the calendar there for some of our guys that have not got their calves worked yet. So if you're going to be processing cattle, working calves, these few days where we have some more moderated temps might be a good opportunity for you to go ahead and get that knocked out. Because remember, whenever we get into this time of year and our highs are breaking the mid 80s by mid morning, the clock ticks really fast on getting your cow working done, because 84 degrees and 84% humidity, that's reaching critical temperature for cattle. So we start getting into the danger zone with cattle temperature regarding heat stress a lot quicker than you really think we would. That's pretty well it for my report. I would like to comment on one thing. We had the opportunity to travel down to Marksville with the Louisiana County Agricultural Agents Association last week. It was a great time for us to get with our coworkers from across the state and come together in a time of fellowship and professional development. It's always interesting to me to hear the struggles that producers across the state are facing, challenges that they're facing. A lot of times you think you're the only person fighting something. It's oftentimes refreshing to hear that it's much more common, fighting rain or getting grass rained on or whatever the problem might be. I would like to thank Justin Dufour and the Bowles Parish for hosting us for this week. It's a really neat place to have this meeting because it was a perfect parish to highlight the diversity of Louisiana agriculture. I think we have the most diverse agriculture enterprises of any place in America, and it's very proud to call this state home. Dr. Edwards, that is pretty well it for me. I will go ahead and pass the baton over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. I was going to leave this towards the end, but since you mentioned LC AAA, one, thank you for those comments because that's very accurate. And Justin did do a fantastic job putting that entire event together for us. But two, I need to give a shout out to Lee. He's not on here, so we can do this, but Lee was the recipient of our Distinguished Service Award for our Louisiana County Agricultural Agents Association. And so that's an award that all of our colleagues, our peers, vote on. And so out of those, I can't remember what the number of years of service it is. It's either 10 or 15 or more years of service. And then plus membership in LC AAA. But anyways, Lee was selected. And so Lee was our winner for Louisiana this year and very, very well deserved recipient of that. And he will be traveling to Montana where he will be recognized nationwide with all the other state winners for the Distinguished Service Award in July. So congratulations again to Lee for winning that. Brittany, as y'all know, again, is not on today. And so I'm going to read her report for central Louisiana. And so the conditions have been favorable for getting into the hay fields. Many were cutting and baling hay towards the end of the week and over the weekend, again, of the rain that's predicted for this week. So I think statewide, everybody's got a small to moderate chance of rain off and on throughout the week, as Tripp mentioned. Lots of producers have also been working their herds, vaccinations, castrations, etc. Temperatures have been hot and humid. And so as Tripp said again, she's kind of everything's repeating in the same things that I had. Make sure that we've got shade, make sure we've got water. If you are working those cattle, work them earlier in the mornings if at all possible. And so I can't remember if we said this before on a news update, but just for reference, heat stress in association with the thermal heat index, heat stress for beef cattle starts at 84 degrees and 84% humidity. So it's not unheard of for us to already be hitting that in late May, early June, and we certainly have reached that on some days. And so checking those shade structures, checking your shade, natural shade sources, etc. We're going to keep harping on that all throughout the summer. Even transportation, going down the road, if you're going to be selling anything, moving pastures, do it very, very early in the morning or later in the evenings whenever those temperatures are a little bit cooler. Both Tripp and Brittany have been mentioning working calves. We also did that at Dean Lee last week. So we did the first round of calf hood vaccinations. We also did fly control. And so we did a topical and we did tags on our mature animals. And so, and then other dewormers, insecticides, for the calves too. But all of our cows got a tag in each ear. We do rotate which tags and which active ingredient we use. I know we harp on that a lot, but fly numbers are already high. So if you haven't done that already, go ahead with whatever your fly management strategy is and get those in because that's just added stress on those animals too. And so all that will just compound with the heat. And I think really the only two events that we have coming up, we keep mentioning our hay day that's going to be at Mr. Lloyd Dodson's in Coushatta this Thursday. So it's from 8 to 5. I know we keep talking about it. I've got it listed here. If you did not RSVP but plan to go, just go ahead and still give the Red River Parish Extension Office a call. I've got their number listed. I think they're expecting 100 plus people out there. So there's going to be talks, but there's also going to be equipment demonstrations. It's supposed to be a fantastic time. So come out and join us for that. And then next Monday, June 16th, William Wallace is going to be hosting a grazing cover crops, workshop over at the Richmond Civic Center. Tripp, is that Richmond or Richland?
That's Richmond, right outside of Tallulah.
Okay, there you go. So I'm glad I asked you and you were on here for that because I started second guessing that. So that's going to start at 9 a.m. and go until noon. Dr. Guidry will be there to talk about some economic considerations. Dr. Netto will be there to talk about proper grazing, along with Dr. Vieira talking about some soil science associated with that. And then we'll go a little bit into some grazing management as well. So you RSVP with the Madison Parish Extension Office, and I have all that listed too. I think that's about it that we've got going through June. I know we'll have one more update coming before the end of the month. We will be at both of those events. We'll see you. Also, those of you that are going to go to Farm Bureau at the end of the month, we'll be there and are looking forward to that. Trip, what else do you have for us?
Yeah, a lot of calves are about to be hitting the road, going to market in the next few weeks or next month or so. Be aware as temperatures go up. Ashley or Dr. Edwards alluded to it earlier. Haul as early as you can to reduce heat stress, but also make sure you have good tires on your trailer and you bring spare tires with you. We see it every year. Producers taking cattle to market. It's gotten hot, increased risk for blowouts, and you don't want to be stuck on the side of the road with a load of calves this time of year where they're getting hot on you.
Thank you. I think that's all we're going to have for y'all today. Thank y'all, and we'll be back with y'all in just a couple of weeks.